All right, first up, let's begin with a big breaking update as far as when it comes to the supreme win for India and the Indian investigative agencies. The 26/11 terror attack, as far as the accused in the case is concerned, Tahawwur Rana, he is set to be extradited after the US top court has rejected Rana's plea. Indian jails are now ready to welcome Tahawwur Rana. He's likely to be kept in Tihar, and preparations, we are told, are currently underway as well. Let's get in a word from Bhavtosh, who's joining us live right now. Bhavtosh, good morning. What are we learning through sources as far as the investigative agencies are concerned? We are told that there is a multi-agency team from India that has also gone to the US.
Yes, Amita, in fact, good morning. This team has gone to US. They were just waiting for the Supreme Court order. And this order came just a day back. And once that order came, armed with the surrender warrant, which was issued on 15th of February by the Secretary of State, the team will now speak with the authorities in US and also with the Indian Embassy in Washington. And they will now make every effort to bring back Tahawwur Rana. Now, Tahawwur Rana, since June 2020, is lodged in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. He made every possible effort to stop his extradition. In fact, the matter first went to the district court and from there to the federal court and then twice in the Supreme Court. But now decks have been cleared. The question is by when he will be back in India. There are reports that he will be back by today, but this could be a private jet that will be going to US, which will have officers not only from NIA. NIA is the agency that have filed the charge sheet in Delhi court, and then subsequently that matter went to US, and with, in fact, all the papers were vetted, and also officers from RNDW and from Intelligence Bureau. His security is one of the most paramount issue here, and this private aircraft will also need to be refueled. That refueling will in fact happen in Germany, in Frankfurt actually, and because it will be a long haul long haul flight, it will take over 20 hours. The question is by when he will be back in India. Now, agencies are very tight-lipped about this entire issue, so one can expect him to be back very shortly. Now, we did manage to check the website of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It states that he is still in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles, but we are in fact, we are in touch with all authorities in India. But what we have been told that he will be back very shortly in India, and because the court has in fact asked for all documents back in Delhi.
This is coming after the US top court rejected Tahawwur Rana's plea against his extradition. Remember, time and again he had made multiple appeals to stop his extradition in any way, but all of these attempts that have failed and preparations that are underway in Tihar, what we are told that he will be kept in the Indian jail as far as when it comes to his extradition is now concerned. Breaking another angle, what we are learning through top sources as far as the multi-agency team that has already left for the US, as Bhavtosh was pointing out, the team that has left from India and for the US, what we are learning that this is a multi-agency team from India that has gone. All paperwork and legalities that are now being completed with the US authorities, with a very high possibility that Tahawwur Rana could be extradited shortly. Now, these developments that now we are looking at as far as every legal option, Bhavtosh, that was taken on by Tahawwur Rana. However, all of those attempts failed. He will be extradited, and we are looking for justice, especially for the victims of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks to happen.
Yes, Samita, finally justice for the families, victims of 26/11. It was a most dastardly terror attack in the world. Tahawwur Rana did plead that he was not anyway linked to 26/11, but the fact remains it was Tahawwur Rana. He was the one who provided cover to David Headley Coleman, and it was a planning that took place 2 years back. It was in 2006 that the planning took place, and in 2011, NIA prepared a very charge sheet in which the role of Tahawwur Rana was explained in detail, in which Tahawwur Rana was the one who provided cover to David Headley Coleman. It was his immigration business that was set up in Mumbai. And then subsequently he carried out reconnaissance of various places, not only in Mumbai. Remember, Amita, it is not only in Mumbai that he carried out reconnaissance. It was in Delhi, Jaipur and Pune and various other places that this reconnaissance was done. He was also in touch with Lashkar-e-Toiba Chief Hafiz Saeed, with Zakir Rahman Lakwi, with Major Sajid, with other players as far as this case is questioned. But coming back to the question by when he will be back, agencies are very tight-lipped because of security reasons. we had already broken the story that all papers pertaining to 2611, the court has already said that these papers have now been called in by the court, NIA court in Delhi, and they have been, in fact, been asked to be submitted in Delhi court. So for all practical purposes, he will be kept in Delhi prison and trial will take place here. And the agencies for the first time will speak to someone who is directly linked to 2611. Already two individuals, as far as this case is concerned, have faced trial. One is Azmal Kasab, who got the death sentence, and the other one is Abu Jundal, who was in fact deported from Saudi Arabia. He's facing trial. He's lodged in Author Road prison. So he's the third person who will be brought back to India. The question is by when. Agencies are saying very shortly. They have not given any timeline, whether it is today, tomorrow, or in a week's time. So one can expect him to be back in India to face trial, but he is someone who is closely linked, very closely linked to 2611.
All right. Srinjoy is also connected with us. This is going to be a big development there, Srinjoy, as far as when it comes to extradition of Tahawwur Rana is concerned. He's likely to be kept in the custody of the NIA. But speaking of his extradition, does it mark a significant diplomatic victory also for India?
Yes, undoubtedly. This is a very major step. And this is a clear case. There is nothing else here except the fact that all these legal hurdles had to be overcome. The Americans are on the same page. They know that Rana was responsible for 2611. They know that a lot of people died, and several were American citizens. That's something America has not forgotten. All the people who died in 2611, some of them were American citizens. And this is something America has been very, very clear about. So if someone is responsible for 2611 and has killed American citizens, well, he has to pay the price. And in this case, there has been no diplomatic problem vis-a-vis America and India. There have been legal issues, legal hurdles to cross. Every effort was made by Tahawwur Rana, but at the end of the day, he should be back in India soon, ready to face trial. And let's not forget how many years it has taken for India to get Rana.
And that's the point there, Bhavtosh, how many years it has taken for India to get Tahawwur Rana back with the legal roadblocks that have now been removed. He's all set to be brought back to the Indian soil. But when it comes to the deadliest terror strikes in recent history, the critical question, Bhavtosh, still remains. Who in Pakistan actually received, when it comes to Tahawwur Rana's information, the classified information that he was in the know, his offices apparently that were being used when it comes to the terror mastermind and also when it comes to the planning of the terror attack?
Amita, if we go by the charge sheet that was filed in 2011, it's a very detailed charge sheet that does not mince any words. It said that Lashkar-e-Toiba, the army of God, which in fact is not only planning to carry out terror attacks in India but across the globe. And it also mentions that the investigation in this case is still on. One can expect NIA to again question Tahawwur Rana, to in fact question him in detail and again get the conspiracy out as far as this case is concerned. Remember, this is not a terror attack in which local players were involved. It's an international conspiracy. It's an international terror attack in which individuals not only in Pakistan were involved but across the globe. Now we are looking at a case in which people people in Spain provided information. Since were procured in Italy. And then this entire conspiracy took place. I will just add briefly that Sajid Mir, an ISI agent, came to attend a cricket match, India-Pakistan cricket match, on a fake passport in 2005. So that's the kind of planning that happened for a terror attack that took place in 2026.
And the role that has been played by Tahawwur Rana is something that will be detailed out, especially when it comes to his possibility, which is very high. Major General A.K. Sivacha is also connected with us. What we are getting to know, sir, that as far as Tahawwur Rana extradition could happen shortly, of course, with the NI authorities also in the know. There is a team that has also gone to the US. Diplomatically also, this speaks volumes how India has worked hard and the agencies have worked hard to bring him back.
No doubt, Tahawwur Rana is one of the main culprits of Mumbai attack, and he was the one who has provided a complete logistics support to David Headley, and both of them have planned it. And every time the Pakistan has been telling that their direct involvement was not there. It was only a non-state actors. Once David Headley has been given approval there, once Tahawwur Rana comes in India, you will find all those dots will be connected. And once he gives a confession, once he will be taken to all the places where he has carried out recce and taken David Headley with him, the whole thing will be then become crystal clear, and we will able to point out as to how Pakistan ISI and Pakistan Army were directly involved in Mumbai attack. Now, this is a very, very good movement that finally we have managed to get him in India. And in spite of lot of hurdles which were there, you see, ISI has spent a lot of money in defending his case in US. And finally we managed to get him back. And now once he comes tonight under the NIA, you will find it that the Mumbai attack will become crystal clear. And three messages are sent across the globe. That one is that in case if someone is hidden anywhere in the world who has committed a crime in India, India will not stay quiet. We will
and
get
we'll
him
see
back.
it to the end, especially when it comes to all the legal formalities we are told that are now being worked around, all the paperwork, especially when it comes to the US authorities. Thank you, sir, for joining in with your point of view. We have Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni also connected with us, and so is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan, who is also connected with us. Lieutenant General Kulkarni, sir, what do you have to say as far as when it comes to the high possibility of Tahawwur Rana could be extradited shortly? We don't know exactly when, but what does it speak, especially when it comes to the work that has now gone across and the acknowledgement that came in from the two leaders directly earlier this year when they met in the United States that Tahawwur Rana will be brought back to India?
I'm glad it's a huge diplomatic success. It confirms way Pakistan uses terrorism as an instrument of state policy. There could be nothing better than a man who's a co-conspirator in 26/11 Mumbai attack, which led to almost 180 people dying. His dear classmate of his, Hadley, and he, the think tanks of the execution, and there's a way Kasab gave away all the things of the deep involvement of Pakistan. Pakistan might keep saying non-state actors, they're deep state actors. They are the ones who are involved in all the crimes and all the terrorist activities in India. And once Rana is here, hopefully he should be here in the next 24 and 48 hours, it's clear. And all the plea that they took, that they would be put into trouble and they will be sorted out in the Indian jails and all. Nothing like it. Rana will come back. He will now tell us exactly what has been happening and how they have been conspiring in Mumbai, kind of brekkie that they did. And both Hadley and he were classmates. Had it not been for Hadley, we would have not even got to know of Rana, who is an ex-army officer of the Pakistan. He is a doctor in Pakistan Army. And this is how they were doing it. And Kasab's execution of the entire plan, along with his gang of 10, is indicative that Pakistan is deeply involved in all terrorist activities, is continuously using terrorism as an instrument of state policy, and there can be nothing better than this chap coming back, telling all of it, and exposing Pakistan's deep involvement in terrorist activities. So there are
justice is long overdue there for the victims there, because they have been waiting, especially when it comes to, the trial is now concerned of Tahawwur Rana. Bringing him back was one of the main objectives. That has now been successfully cleared. But when it comes to justice for the victims, that will now happen once he is tried here in the Indian courts. Thank you very much, sir, for your point of view. Brigadier Hemant Mahajan also connected with us. Sir, thank you very much for your patience. It seems that when it comes to the US Supreme Court order to extradite, when it comes to Tahawwur Rana, came despite his lawyers raising every viable defense. All of the excuses that he has been making in the US courts there, citing that he is a Pakistani Muslim, he will be tortured if he is sent back to India. All of them failed to sway the judges.
Yes, Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India is a great achievement as far as India is concerned. A lot of issues have been covered by speakers before me. However, I would like to focus on two important issues. One is the time at which it is happening right now. Today, the world is in turbulence because of Donald Trump's arrival in USA. So it's a very clear indication that Donald Trump's present government today approves his coming back to India, because if they had wanted to stop him from not coming to India, they would have done something more. Because you would remember that earlier the same USA, under that 5 Eyes scheme, had decided that Indians were involved in killing that Khalistani Pannu or whoever that person was, and they were trying to work out a case against him. But we are hopeful that with the present set of government which is there, which is more pro-India and which is not helping Pakistan in any way, that's a big sign, a clear message that the terrorists who hide either in Europe or in America are definitely going to be hunted down. That is one issue which is important. Secondly, it's a great message for Pakistan, because Pakistan has been accusing India of creating unrest inside Pakistan because of the Baluchi attacks on the Sipe corridor and elsewhere in Pakistan. So that's a slap in their face, which very clearly tells them that the mastermind of 26/11 attack has been extradited after the due process of law in the United States. So it's a big shock as far as Pakistan is concerned. Thirdly,
Absolutely.
the terrorist agencies, the terrorist groups in Pakistan, the Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Hizbul Mujahid,
But that's the
and many
point,
more.
Brigadier Mahajan,
also,
despite, numerous dossiers that have been sent across Pakistan, leave alone even when it comes to the acknowledgement, has always denied when it comes to the safe haven that it continues to provide to terrorists, especially when it comes to the masterminds of several, not just one, but several terror attacks that have happened on Indian soil. Appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. It's been over 14 years that we've been speaking. Of course, when it comes to the survivors are also concerned of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, what they have to say. Will they finally get justice? Listen in.
देविका, वी आर वन मोर स्टेप क्लोजर. तहावुर राणा, जिसे एक की कॉन्स्पिरेटर के तौर पर देखा गया है, जिसने डेविड हेडली के साथ पूरी प्लानिंग का वो हिस्सा रहा है, उसको एक्स्ट्रेडिट करके इंडिया लिया जाएगा. किस तरीके से आप इसे देखती हैं?
इस बात को सुनकर मुझे काफ़ी खुशी हुई है. मैं पहले तो अपनी इंडियन गवर्नमेंट को और यूएस गवर्नमेंट को मैं धन्यवाद कहना चाहूँगी कि इस बात से हमारी इंडिया की बहुत बड़ी जीत है. तो मैं एक ही बात कहूँगी, तहव्वुर राना को जल्द से जल्द भारत लाया जाए, तभी जाके मुझे पूरी खुशी मिलेगी और उससे जल्द से जल्द एक इंफॉर्मेशन मिले कि वो आतंकवाद के खिलाफ वो सारी प्रूफ दें.
देविका, साथ में हमने देखा कि आप और मैं, कई लोग इस वक्त का इंतजार कर रहे थे जहां पर तहव्वुर राना ने पुरजोर कोशिश लगा दी, यूएस के हर कोर्ट में जाकर याचिका दाखिल की, लेकिन अब यूएस के सुप्रीम कोर्ट से खारिज कर दिया गया है उसका लास्ट एप्लीकेशन, यानी और क्लोजर हो गया है वो भारत आने के.
यूएस से खारिज कर दिया गया है, इसलिए तो सबसे बड़ी खुशी की बात हो गई है कि उसे जल्द से जल्द भारत लाया जाएगा. तो इस बात से बड़ी जीत हमारी कोई नहीं है कि हमें और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ सबूत मिलेगी. और पाकिस्तान में आज भी कहीं ना जाने कितने आतंकवाद बैठे हैं और उसके मन में क्या चल रहा है, क्या प्लानिंग चल रही है, वो हमें किसी को नहीं पता. शायद इसके आने से इंफॉर्मेशन और मिलेगी. 26/11 के टाइम पे इन्होंने क्या प्लानिंग किया था, कैसे किया था, ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी. मैं चाहती हूँ कि तहव्वुर राना को लाने के बाद उस पर जल्द से जल्द कार्रवाई करके उसे फांसी की सजा दिया जाए.
So what we are getting to know as far as the Indian team that according to sources we are learning has been dispatched for the United States, and we are told that this team is actually led by a Deputy Inspector General or DIG rank officer. And there is a high possibility that Tahawwur Rana could be extradited shortly. Priyanka, it's a very, when it comes to a close-knit case and everyone seems to be tight-lipped, of course, when it comes to the security concerns as well, this is a high-profile case that we are looking at, and a big victory diplomatically and according to the Indian investigation and the agencies as well for building such a watertight case, and especially when it comes to the charge sheet that was in detail filed against him. We are getting, as far as his extradition is concerned, could happen shortly.
Yes, certainly, Amitabh, because everyone is right now waiting that when this accused will be brought here before the Indian judiciary, because there have been so many victims of this attack who want justice to their loved ones which they have lost in this attack. On the other side, what we have got to know from our sources in the top government establishment, that a team which is led by an IPS rank officer who's a DIG rank officer in the NIA has already been there in the US, and certainly by any time soon. What we are expecting that the team will be coming back. We exactly don't know that what is the exact time of the flight, because I was trying to get in touch with the officer. The DIG rank officer's phone is certainly not reachable. So that certainly raises speculation that if the internet calls are not going on, and if there's only one blue tick which is coming up on the WhatsApp number, then certainly whether the team is already on air or they are the they are yet to fly from their respective location. So that is the thing which is making this case more curious, because over the period of last 48 hours, people have been very eagerly watching this broadcast, where they have been wanting to know that when this accused will be brought here to India. What I have got to know personally is that the team is also consisting of a DIG rank officer. We are yet to know that how many officers have been there. But certainly the manner in which the phone numbers are not reachable, that is certainly raising speculation that whether they have taken a flight or not.
All right. Well, that information is still not out yet. Of course, when it comes to security regions, that needs to be kept classified. But Srinjoy, the acknowledgement that came in earlier this year from the two leaders meeting, and of course, when it comes to Tahawwur Rana and justice for the victims of 2611 mastermind, that needs to be also acknowledged exactly what had fast-tracked the case.
Yes, there is absolutely no doubt that America is on board on this. And it's very, very clear that they are going to cooperate. Because let's not forget, as I mentioned earlier, that American citizens were killed in this attack. So America also has a case here. They want punishment for people who killed American citizens, which is why Rana will be sent back and he will stand trial. And hopefully others who were involved, some punishment will reach them. Whether it's Lakvi, whether it's Hafiz Saeed himself, all of them are actually responsible for this. Now, how this will ever happen, we don't know. But let's hope there will be a solution, and let's hope Lakvi and Hafiz Saeed and others will stand trial and be convicted.
All right. Details that have now been coming in as far as the US Supreme Court order to extradite the Mumbai attack accused Tahawwur Rana came despite his lawyers raised every viable defense, all of them that failed when it comes to the judges over there. And this was largely due to the airtight charge sheet that was filed by the NIA, and every charge in the charge sheet that was backed with undeniable proof and also with evidence as well. Now, the role that Tahawwur Rana seems to have played when it comes to all the planning and plotting that was being done of 2611 terror attack, the Mumbai terror attack, these are the findings so far that have now been come in the know as far as when it comes to the NIA charge sheet, which has been a watertight one. The findings, multiple of them, that clearly suggests that he was the one who provided a blueprint of 2611 attack to Lashkar-e-Taiba. And with the mastermind who was sitting across the border, he was playing the role of helping David Headley to open an immigration firm in Mumbai. Not just that, according to another finding, the double agent Headley did reconnaissance when it comes to the target areas. He did a recce of those areas. And Tahawwur Rana's Mumbai office, what is being said, was the one that was being used for terror activities. According to another finding, he was in the know. Tahawwur Rana was in the know that David Headley was plotting. He had several meetings and what was being discussed when it comes to the planning of the terror attack, and he had direct knowledge of Pakistan State's deep involvement when it comes to 2611. So this is all per the NIA charge sheet that we are looking at. The extradition finally happening. We've been getting news reports for the last several months that he will be extraditing, but when it comes to all the multiple appeals that have been made in the US courts have now failed, and the extradition is now actually happening. All right, we continue to get you more details on other stories as well lined up on the other side of a very short break. You're watching the Morning News Hour.